The judge at Drew Peterson's murder trial said he expects the sides to start delivering closing arguments after Labor Day, probably Tuesday. The state called more than 30 witnesses over 4 weeks to support allegations the former suburban Chicago police officer killed his third wife. The defense called around a dozen witnesses over 3 days. Prosecutors called 2 witnesses in their one-day rebuttal. It was just a big case, and I wanted to find out more about this. Nishay Sanan joins us. He's a criminal defense and civil law attorney. He can explain a little bit more about this Drew Peterson case. Nishay, thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate it.
Well, thanks for having me.
All right, now this is a confusing case. Now we have Drew Peterson on trial. Is this for the murder of his fourth wife or his third wife?
He's on trial for the murder of his third wife, Kathleen Savio. As of yesterday, the defense had rested, and the prosecution is putting on their rebuttal case. The fourth wife, they've never gotten a body, and he's never been charged with.
So she's just disappeared.
She is missing. There's obviously allegations that he was involved with her disappearance and or murder. Some people have accused him of being involved with Stacey Peterson's fourth wife's murder also. But as he sits there in court today, he's only charged with the murder of his third wife, Kathleen Savio.
What evidence do they have against him that he may have done this?
Well, you know what? I think that's their problem. They have very lackadaising evidence. It's all circumstantial. Mm-hmm. They have problems with their forensics where one expert says that it was a murder when 3 others say that it wasn't. Their coroner, who originally did the investigation at the time of death, who did the autopsy, said it was an accidental death. So what this is a far-reaching circumstantial murder trial based on conflicting forensic evidence and also hearsay testimony in which the prosecution actually urged the Illinois legislators to change the law so these hearsay statements could come in. No, I'm just going to say prior to Drew Peterson being indicted on these murder charges, this hearsay would have never come in because the people who are giving the hearsay are not available to come in and say it themselves. There's a violation of the Confrontation Clause.
Well, isn't it rather pivotal on the point that Drew Peterson's a former police officer, and the police work, what they're alleging is that the initial police work wasn't done properly, so it's kind of difficult to have evidence at this point if they didn't gather proper evidence.
But that's the problem. It's still the prosecution's burden to prove him guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. They chose to try this case. They knew what their evidence or lack of evidence was. I think Glasgow, the state's attorney out of Will County, has even said this is going to be a circumstantial case. They don't have any evidence. They don't even have evidence putting Drew Peterson at the house the night of the alleged murder.
And the third wife, she's the one who died in the bathtub, is that right?
Correct, Kathleen Savio.
Okay. Didn't they just, in the last week or so, have some new evidence about how she died? There were no drugs or alcohol in her system?
There was no drugs or alcohol in her system. Their forensic pathologist, who was actually hired by the Savio family before becoming a state witness, testified that based on the way she fell in the bathtub, that it couldn't have been an accidental drowning / accidental fall where she hit her head. The problem with that evidence is there's 3 other pathologists who are well known within the community who contradict the state's one expert who says that this was a murder.
So where do you see this going?
I see this going to a jury, and I see a jury coming back with a verdict of not guilty. I mean, I've been well quoted saying that this case is a mockery of the criminal justice system, that third graders would find reasonable doubt in this case.
Why would they bring it? Nishay, why would they bring it if they don't have a case? What's the point? Why not wait? There's no statute of limitations on murder. If it was a murder, why not just wait until you can put a case together?
Or why not wait till they can get more evidence on where Stacey Peterson is the fourth wife?
Yeah.
That's a question that Glasgow is going to have to answer when he's up for re-election. They chose to bring this case, charge him. They got the law changed to bring in statements of 2, 1 missing and 1 dead person, and they thought they had enough. I mean, Glasgow himself, the Will County state's attorney, is actually trying the case. In Illinois, that rarely happens. When you're the actual county prosecutor, you're more administrating justice than actually walking into a courtroom and trying cases. In this case, he chose to do this himself, and this may backfire on him in his career.
We only have about 20 seconds left, but in the view of public opinion, it doesn't look good for Peterson, though. 3 wives dead?
Well, 1 wife dead and 1 missing.
Okay.
But no, but that's why public opinion is not supposed to be factored in a jury trial. The question is, can the prosecution prove him guilty beyond a reasonable doubt? And they're going to have problems with that. If they get a conviction of guilty, it's going to be based on emotion, and based on his reputation and what's been out in the media, not what took place in that courtroom.
Nishay Sanan with us on America's Radio News. Nishay, thank you so much for the information. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Guys have a great day.
Fascinating case, Drew Peterson.